Hi everyone, Amy here, and today I have some quick batch Christmas cards to share with you using some pattern paper. And I have this Oh What Fun, this is a giant die from Lawn Fawn. I also have a pad of pattern paper, and I have some regular cardstock and stick-it sheets, which I often forget I have in my crafty stash. But basically I'm going to pull these items together to make a batch of quick and easy, a little bit fiddly, honestly, but super easy overall design for some Christmas cards. So here's a photo of the finished card, but do stick around to the end. I'll show you a different variation to use the same product. Now I'm going to use a full sheet of Stick It. To be honest, I've had this. This is one of the first items I got when I started card making, but I always forget that I have it. And I thought it would work really well in this case for my card batching because the name of the game is saving time. I know it's meant to be enjoyed, and I do enjoy the process, but when I have about 130 cards I have to make, I have to find ways that I can save time during the process. So this is slightly smaller than 8.5 by 11, so there will be a little bit of an edge, which I can avoid in terms of creating the design. So I am going to cut out 4 panels from this one sheet of cardstock, and I will get 4 A2 size panels, so 4.25 by 5.5, and I'll be able to just avoid the little edge that doesn't have adhesive on it, which you'll see what I mean in a moment. So I'll cut this down into 4 panels. And then I'm going to use this Oh What Fun die to cut out 4 die cuts from those 4 panels. So you'll see in a moment I'll be able to kind of kick it off to the side so that I can avoid the area that doesn't have adhesive. And then what that will do is create basically a sticker, which I can put on the pattern paper panel that I cut in a moment here. So I'm going to use my mint tape. This is my favorite low tack adhesive from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to run it through off screen through my Platinum 6 Spellbinders die cutting or embossing machine. You can see here I'm just kind of leaving everything together, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm just going to kind of carefully poke all of this out. I have my fabulous Judy tool Christmas edition that she sent me. Absolutely love it. So I'm just going to poke this out and just try and keep everything together and set that aside and run it through multiple times to create this batch of cards. So once I have all of those ready to go, then I will be able to move on to the next step here. You can see I'm just going to move on to the next one, but I won't bore you with all of that, showing you multiple steps of that process. Now on to this next step. I did cut 4 panels with this cool stitched edge rectangle die off screen. That is from LDRS Creative. It's a small woman-owned business in Michigan. And I'm just going to use some tape runner and attach these panels down onto card bases, which are also A2 size, 4.25 by 5.5. So there won't be a white border in this case. I do want the pattern paper to go all the way to the edge, but I am just going to kind of poke this out. Now this is the most fiddly bit. It's just kind of poking out all these pieces, especially because there is the backer on there with the adhesive from the stick-it sheets. So just kind of keeping these little word letters to the side, and you'll see how I'm going to use those in the future. The backer came off, so I want to put it back on so it didn't get stuck to something else. So I'm just going to poke out all these little bits, set them in this tray aside for future use, and then I'm just going to use the outline portion for this particular design. So obviously I don't know what this pattern paper is or if it's still available, but if you're like me, I'm sure you have loads of it, so use whatever you have on hand. And if you have a big die cut like this as well, which will make for quick and easy Christmas cards, and use that as well. Otherwise, I will link everything that's available in the video description box below if you expand and scroll down under the video. Now those links will be my affiliate links, but they're no additional cost to you if you do follow those links. It does help me out and does help support my channel, so I appreciate that. So once I'm done poking out all these little fiddly bits, I'm going to shove all this stuff to the side, and then I can remove the backer, and then I'll have basically the adhesive ready to go. So if you don't have Stick It, you could use, if you have a roll of 2-way stick tape, Scrapbook has a bunch of that, or you could just use liquid glue or micro dots, or if you're really careful, you could even use probably tape runner. So whatever adhesive works best for you. I just wanted to save a little bit of time and use up these Stick It sheets because I've had them forever now and I always forget that I have them. And I am using a little bit of a lighter weight cardstock than I normally normally do. It's, I believe, Recollections. So it's still 110 pound from Michael's. However, it's not quite as thick as my normal Accent Opaque. So I felt that that would be a good fit with the that additional layer of the stick because then I was still able to cut it in my die cutting machine. So here you can see I missed a little piece of the backer. Sometimes you have to make sure you didn't miss a bit. So I'm just lifting that up and pulling the backer off so that it will all stick down directly on this panel of pattern paper. Then the next step is just basically filling in the O and the A. I did save those little outline bits in the die cutting. That's the wrong one. Here we go. I can just remove the backer and then just kind of nestle that into place. So that will finish the outline portion. I'm trying to find the other little bit in here amongst my letters that I saved, but you just pull the backer off and then you can just put it right in place, and that will finish that design. 8 years later when I'm done fiddling with that, I was able to finally get it off. And then the same thing with the little inner portion of the A. I can put that in there to finish this part of the design. So that finishes that. Now here is the bonus design option. Now you can save all the little letters that you poked out and create a second card. Now what I have here, this is just an outline of regular cardstock. It doesn't have adhesive on it, so I'm just going to hold it down temporarily with some mint tape, and then I can just puzzle piece all the letters back into the design. So this is another option to use up the full paper so nothing goes to waste. And again, I still have the adhesive on here, so now I'm just going to speed it up and show you how I puzzle piece all of these little bits back in. Now you can absolutely just freehand it if you don't want to use the outline and spell out, oh, what fun, if you want, but I wanted to keep the layout as intended. So I use this just as an outline, just to help me kind of puzzle piece these little fiddly letters back into the design. Now obviously the exclamation point is optional. You could skip that if you didn't want to use that on the next design. And then on the T, there's another optional little step. So you can see it's got a little bit of a weird overhang because of where it overlaps with the N. And I thought it looked a little weird, so I just trimmed off the little bottom part of the T. Now I'm using my bone folder just to really kind of brayer that down and push it down onto, you can see I'm missing backer again, push it down onto the card panel so that it really doesn't come up or anything like that. Now I have this blingage that I got from A Colorful Life Designs in a previous order. Just using my dual picker tool and some liquid glue to put that down. I thought it looked really cute on the little stars just to give it a little unexpected element. And then on this pattern paper, I'm just doing a normal smattering on the outer portion of the card panel. So this is a way to get two different looks from the same die. I have a bunch of cards here now to add to my Christmas stash. Have that fun little design element with the stitched edge and the little bits of blingage all around, and oh, what fun, right? Fun to make, fun to send out, and sure to bring a smile. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Bye.